Hey, I'm back with another Parenting with Proverbs by Luke and Tricia Gilkerson. Going to be tongue-tied today, sorry. And today we're going to focus on the chapter on complaining versus gratefulness. So this is a biggie, complaining versus gratefulness. So I think we parents hear it a lot that our kids complain about things, and we try to twist their interpretation of it to look on the bright side, or to find the silver lining, or to try to shift their focus and distract them from whatever they're complaining about. Um, but let's be honest, it's not just our kids that we have to worry about. It's us too. I mean, how many of us complain and forget to find the good in what's going on, especially right now with COVID. Um, COVID-19 is rocking our world. We have not faced anything like this in our time for sure, and certainly maybe ever, if I dare say, compared to our technological times. And the great news is we've got technology so that we can still communicate, which is pretty cool. So our lesson today is for complaining versus gratefulness. And the proverb they use, I love. The proverb is Proverbs 17:22. It is, "A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones." Proverbs is great. I love their wording. So today we're going to talk about how our attitude affects our health. So when you're cheerful, you're more upbeat, you're more positive. That's good for our bodies. That can help relieve tension. Laughter helps relieve tension. It helps relieve pain. It increases blood flow in our bodies, and it even helps fight disease. So we want to be laughing as much as possible in these days. Let's bring on those romantic comedies. If we are not happy, joyful, if we're sad, if we're complaining, if we're grumpy, if we're just down in the dumps, that really is bad for our bodies. Our minds are very powerful. If we don't feel positive mentally, it can make us feel tired and weak and lazy, and it even can increase your risk of getting sick, according to this book. I don't have the other citations for that, but according to this book. So the focus of this lesson is that one great way to find joy is to be thankful, to look for all those things that we have around us that we should be thankful for, and we get to be thankful for. And for some, it may be a challenge to find those things, but once you start looking, oh my goodness, they're just everywhere. And I have to say, right now, springtime is a great time to look for things to be thankful for, because even if your whole world is in tumult, look outside your window. Look at the flowers blooming and all the green leaves and the blue sky on a day like today, and it just makes your spirits rise, I think. 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18 says, "Rejoice always, pray without ceasing, give thanks in all circumstances." Now that's the clincher right there. Give thanks in all circumstances. All right, so right now during COVID, think about this. What can you be thankful for? Actually, a lot. We really have a lot to be thankful for. And this is something we can point out to our kids while we're at home and COVID is rocking their world. You know, I've got a senior, so it's rocking his senior year. I've got a freshman who was going to play soccer at the high school, and one playing soccer at Brewer, and again, Dossie's senior soccer season. And, and you know, they've taken it pretty well. And I'm very grateful. So that's something I'm thankful for. But with our kids, sometimes they're not going to take things well. Why can't I go to Starbucks for the sixth time this week? Why can't I go see a friend? We're just going to ride around. It's just so and so. And so we're having to kind of steer them in the right direction of, instead of the can'ts, what are the cans? What are the things we're thankful for? Our families. That's a huge one. Even when we drive each other crazy, we have a lot to be thankful for. We often have games in our household. Our family loves Quiddler, and we love Five Crowns, and my kids love Uno, and I play anyway. It just goes on forever. I beat them the last time we played Monopoly, so I'm hoping that gives me an out for the next few decades. But all these games can be so much fun. And honestly, I feel bad because I've been letting them get away with a lot more electronics. And really, we don't bond over electronics as much as if we're playing a game together. And so I need to do better about giving us that time to play games together. One that is funny once you're getting to the end of it, because it's a slow start, is Exploding Kittens. I don't know if you've heard of that. It cracks us up. So anyway, these are fun. So we need to let them focus on things to be thankful for. And we also need to warn them about what can crush their spirit. And I think these words are a fabulous description. Crush the spirit. That part of us, that inside, that just gets stomped. And that we're depressed, we're down in the dumps, we can't get out of it. And one thing that does that is complaining. I want you to think about something that pushes your buttons and things that you would complain about regarding that. For example, yesterday, my washing machine filled up and didn't stop. And it filled up so much that it pushed the door of the washing machine open, flooding the floor of my kitchen and laundry room. And not only that, but the water, even though the door was open, the water didn't stop pouring out. I had to go to the thing behind the washing machine and turn the water off. And I looked at it for a minute, kind of in shock, and then realized that I was going to have a really clean floor yesterday. The best mopping I've ever had. So I could have sat in the puddle and cried and been miserable thinking about how if Christopher were home, I would have said, honey, and run to the bedroom and left him with it. But instead, the girls and I got a bajillion towels, and we kind of corralled the water from the kitchen, sweeping it into the laundry room and then sweeping it out into the garage. And then we took those wet towels and we put them on Dossie's pollen-covered car. And so there's another silver lining. And quite honestly, so many things can go wrong that can get you down and really spoil your day. Or look on another side. Find something, some silver lining, even if it's dripping with sarcasm, like my floor has never been so well mopped, or even if it's a little stretch to find it, pollen off Dossie's car. It really helps the situation. And one day, not just yet, but one day, that's going to be a really funny story from my family. We're going to look back on it and we're going to say, do you remember when? And just start laughing, which is going to be good for our bodies. The really cool thing is there are some places where Jesus shows joy and thankfulness. In John 11, verse 15, he is full of joy when he sees the disciples growing in their faith. In John 15, verses 9 through 11, he shows joy in obeying his heavenly Father. And in Hebrews 12:2, and this one's very interesting, it says he shows joy in enduring the cross. Even though he suffers pain on that cross, he suffers shame on that cross. He has suffered denial, beating, betrayal, and he's basically alone. His followers have mostly left him at this point for fear. And it says, in joy, he endured the cross. And why? Because he knew his Father had him. He knew his Father had a good plan, and he knew the resurrection was coming. And he knew what that meant for us, forgiveness of sin. So even in the midst of hard, difficult, terrible things, find something to be thankful about. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be angry, but not to sit there all the time. That's not good for you. We all need to feel the sad and the anger. But for the most part, if we can try to feel them and then shift that focus to the positive. So sad and complaining, thumbs down on a regular basis, and joy and thanksgiving, thumbs up. That's something that we want to encourage. So that's our lesson today on parenting with the Proverbs, and I hope you enjoy it. Good luck.